I just returned from the scene of a horrific accident that led to a high-level anxiety all the way from Western New York to Albany to Washington. But before I describe the details, I want to be very, very clear to Americans and New Yorkers. At this time, there is no indication of a terrorist attack.
So I want to give you an update on what's happening with the possible terrorist attack. So to the person that was in my comments saying that I'm lying, no, I was not lying. I was reporting just as the news was reporting, as they were getting the information. It was being fed to them that this is what it was. That is why they shut down entering into the airport and were checking cars. That's why they were evacuating people from offices until they found out more details. So new details are emerging about the 2 people killed in the vehicle explosion at the U.S.-Canada border crossing at Niagara Falls on Wednesday. Law enforcement sources told the news that a local New York man and his wife, who have not been identified, planned to attend the KISS concert in Canada, but the gig was canceled. The pair spent the night briefly visiting a casino near the border before the speeding Bentley they were traveling in rammed into the crossing at Rainbow Bridge. The vehicle hit a curb on the U.S. side of the border and became airborne before combusting in an explosion. And this is according to the FBI field office in Buffalo, New York. The blast instantly sparked fears of terrorist attacks and prompted Canadian and New York officials to briefly shutter all border bridges between the 2 nations and ground planes at nearby Buffalo Airport. There is surveillance of the footage captured of the fiery car vehicle actually hydroplaning and hitting whatever it did hit. And also, Buffalo Airport reopens to international flights after briefly derailing Thanksgiving plans. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. So a lot is happening. I hope you guys are celebrating with your family. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I understand. I just saw some stuff that's making me think twice about celebrating it ever again. Thank you to that person who sent me that email. Thank you to everyone who sends me emails. And we have a state of emergency declared. We have so much to be thankful and grateful for, that we're waking up in our own homes, because right now there are some people who have not done that overnight, having to be evacuated. A train derailment in Rockcastle County Wednesday afternoon, prompting Governor Andy Beshear to declare a state of emergency. Residents of Livingston were urged to evacuate after multiple cars of a CSX train derailed. Beshear's office said in a news release, 16 cars derailed. 16 rail cars, 2 of which were carrying molten sulfur, derailed north of Livingston at 2:23 p.m. They said late Wednesday. The company said some of the sulfur had spilled and was burning. When molten sulfur burns, it is known to release sulfur dioxide. CSX encourages residents in proximity to the incident who are concerned about their safety to utilize the lodging that the company has secured in Mount Vernon, Kentucky. CSX said in a statement, in addition to the hotels, the CSX team is working with local restaurants to provide meals for affected residents. Again, we have so much to be thankful and grateful for, and I'm sure this was not on the agenda for them. US 25 was closed between Callaway Branch Road and Lord. So in addition to residents of Livingston, people in Piney Branch were also asked to evacuate as a precautionary measure. State Senator whose district includes Rockcastle County said in a news release on Wednesday night. He said no casualties were reported. Just 1 engineer sustained minor injuries, and the impacted area appears remote. For all of this, we can be thankful. The Energy and Environment Cabinet Energy Response Team has responded to the scene And the Kentucky Emergency Operations Center has been activated, the governor's office said in a news release. By issuing a state emergency, we are ensuring that every state resources is available to help keep these families safe. Also, before I got this email concerning this breaking news of the state of emergency in Kentucky about this particular train that derailed, I was just about to do an update on the Palestine train derailment 6 months later. Was actually, this article came out in August, so it's actually 9 months later. So they say that it feels like an apocalyptic movie. Life in East Palestine months after the toxic train crash, and what those people are dealing with. Hopefully in Kentucky, they won't have to deal with it as well. And for some of you who are new, who may not know about the train derailment that happened back in February, it was extreme. So in the days after the fiery February train derailment, but likely poisoned the environment in East Palestine, Ohio, with a range of highly toxic chemicals, Amanda Kerner and her family experienced the burning eyes, nose, throat, and other symptoms widely reported among the population in the small town near Pennsylvania border. In the months since, as the media and world have largely moved on, because you know we are short-minded, their lives have not improved much. Kenner's 4-year-old son, who had asthma before the wreck, saw his symptoms become uncontrollable, forcing the doctors to change his medication. She and her 8-year-old son developed asthma, and they all have experienced nausea, diarrhea, and headaches that they attribute to chemical exposure. If you recall, when this first happened, they were telling people that everything was fine, there was nothing wrong. Mind you, they were burning those chemicals off. They had the explosion, and they also was burning the chemicals off, and animals were dying. People were suffering. So and they told them that the water was safe to drink. They even went into people's homes and pretended to drink the water when all they did was put that cup up to their mouth, toss it, and not swallow. So state and federal officials have told the Kenners the water, air, and soil is safe, and their health issues have other sources. But the family, which lives several miles south of the accident site, is skeptical and still relies on kindness of strangers who donate bottled water because they suspect their well is contaminated. She said, "This is an ongoing nightmare. It's been 6 months, well now 9 months, since the wreck and the spill." A representative of the plight for many in the East Palestine region who say they still suffer symptoms stemming from chemical exposure. Independent university researchers have found 80% of residents they surveyed say new symptoms experienced since the wreck: headaches, rash, coughs, eye irritation, diarrhea, are still present, and about 40% said they suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. Residents there say that state and federal officials have downplayed residents' concerns and potential health threats, and sometimes offer contradicting information that has generated deep mistrust, and residents say there's a sense of being left on their own. Another resident, Misty Allison, says it feels like an apocalyptic movie. We are living in it. The town feels like it was a soundbite, and there is dismay over the perception that the situation is resolved, and it is not. People think it has happened, it is terrible, but it is done. But that is not true. About 50 out of the 141 cars on the Norfolk Southern train derailed and exploded in a towering fireball over the town of 4,700. Among other issues, the controlled burn likely released dioxin and other chemicals that present long-term health threats. The EPA has said the level of dioxins in and around the town is safe, but experts in February found that the soil was not safe. The soil contained dioxin levels hundreds of times greater than the exposure threshold above environmental protection scientists found in 2010. causes cancer. The EPA has done some testing for dioxins in the area soil and said it did not find elevated results. But why are these people sick? The testings done on those buildings wasn't designed to find the contamination that could cause the illnesses. The EPA recently proposed a building decontamination program, but it does not include HVAC cleaning, indoor air testing, and other measures, Walton said. So I just wanted to give you a little update that these people are still dealing with this train accident that happened in their town. And now we have evacuations in Kentucky because of another train derailment. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Y'all stay blessed. Be thankful. Be grateful. I love you, but God loves you more. He created only one you. Be the best you that you can be. And when you are, go out and spread God's love. Peace, love, and light. Thanks for being here on TOMMYBITESTV.
I've been giving you the worst.